Hey guys, it's Jeff. Jeff's Vegetable Gardening in Containers. I know you're all gonna complain because I ain't got a chance to get my new microphone that broke on me last week. I bought a brand new one because I thought everybody could hear me fine, not knowing any better, and started watching my videos and seeing the complaints, and I figured that you all obviously knew more than I did, and then I had to turn it all the way up. So just so you know, I have another one on order, and as soon as it gets here, we shall be back on microphone like we need to be. So what I did earlier, I got out here. I wasn't going to do anything because I'm got things I'm going to be doing soon. So, but I got out here today and said, well, I'm going to get some of these seed potatoes in the curb bedding I got here. So the existing soil was in here. I mixed it all up. I put blood meal, bone meal, and I mixed manure in with it. And it's all fresh, soft. Yeah, it'll harden up every time. It all does. But you can see it's all real light and fluffy right now. You know, after rain and stuff, it'll get a little tougher. But what I'm going to do here is, I had an experiment a couple years ago was when I planted my tomatoes in a bed like this or in pots. And I put tomatoes on top of them, which they said don't work, and ended up getting a great load of both. So I'm going to try that again this year to kind of conserve some area because it's not even summer yet and I haven't even gotten my main crops out yet. So these potatoes first going out are going to be the purple ones, okay? So you always want to get them at least 4 to 6 inches apart. All right, and there's 4 of them here, so I'm going to kind of stagger them here in this one bed a little bit. So I'm going to have just a little too much, so they're there. Now, what I want to do with these, since I'm putting tomatoes on top of them, is I'm going to want to really put this down in this real soft soil with the eyelet up. Now let it go, right? And then put it down. You can see my whole hand is going down inside that soil. So you're down a good 6 to 8 inches. We're going to go down. And they're going to say, well, how do you know what potatoes, what potato? Believe me, when you grow so many potatoes, tomatoes, and everything, you see them when they grow, and they normally get harvested right around the same time. So it's not an exceptionally bad thing to have to do. And this bed has, also has, what's the right word? It's had all kind of composting and stuff been done to it over the years. So I just normally put a little mark, like that's where I know our, roughly right there is where our second row went in, okay? So I don't want to put more purple ones right next to that. So these are seed potatoes that I did get. My other ones I've already planted, which you saw the sweet potato slips I grew myself, and the potatoes were already in the greenhouse that are out in the garden. That early season, I grew them all from potatoes from last year. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. And you see the size of these things are just massive potatoes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, it has so many eyelets on it here, and we're going to cut that puppy just like that. Right? And what I tell you before, you only really want 2 eyelets. There'll be 2 on the top there. I'm going to get rid of that bottom one. Right? And then I look on here, I'm only supposed to have so many eyelets, so I'm going to get rid of a couple of these here in the middle, just leave the 2 eyelets right there. So if it's laying flat like that, it's not going to hurt. A lot of people like to take them and dry them, or some people dip them in cement dust. Everybody does it a little bit different. So I'm coming off that line where I already was. So I'm dig this down there, right? Gonna set that right down in there, cover it nice and lightly. There's one right there, then we're gonna come right in front of it. Which I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect them seed potatoes to be that big inside. That, right there, so that line's right there, right? So then we're gonna go get another line. Remember, we're gonna have them so far apart. These seed potatoes are actually huge for a normal seed potato bag. So we're gonna stagger them a little bit so we know that one was there. So we're gonna come back here a little bit off, away from that one. And this soil is so dry here that what they're worried about when you cut them and you dry them out to get them dried out before you set them in the ground, everything's really worried about them getting moisture and rotting out. This bed is so deep, it's 12, 16 inches deep just with dirt right now. So that one's there. That it's just not a thought of really too much worrying about it, because I mean, you could get some harsh rain or something that could affect you, but these things are sitting on a ton of soil here, and I'm gonna get them wet, but they're not gonna have to get extremely wet. So I'll take some of this off here because it's just a little too much. And I'm gonna leave that eyelet there. I'll leave those two eyelets right on there, and leave the eyelets up, put the tater down with the eyelets facing up, right? That'll be all in there. Now this is a heck of a lot of potatoes. If I say tomatoes one more time, heck of a lot of potatoes in one area. I agree with you, but I just have so many to put in this year, and I have so many other crops I haven't even touched yet. So our next line's gonna be around here, and this is gonna be our last. And some of these I gotta save for pots, because the pots I had earlier, which are back there growing, they will be in another month or so. They'll be coming out of ground. Maybe not even that far away. I'll be taking them out. They were in all winter. So these, I'm gonna save these last so many, few I got there, to keep working along here. Go to our other types. The next one we're gonna put in. Actually bought some extra garlic, even though I had it. I got fresh garlic from the food store, from one of them wholesale foods, and I already planted it, and this just happened to, I don't know how, when I was picking these sweet potatoes up there, I got in my bag, but I can't put that into the fall anyway, or winter, so it's too late now. If I put it in, it'll start to grow and go to bolt. And I've already got garlic. It's been in for 6, 7 months now. It'll be ready around beginning of August, late July, so that's out of the question. So the next ones we're gonna put in here are gonna be our red potatoes, which are absolutely tasty as crap, especially when you're growing stuff. Now the problem's gonna be, you see these? Is these sat here for so long, because I've been so busy with so much that I didn't get to them, but they're still gonna work. But see, I don't have any eyelets on the bottom, so I'm gonna put that whole eye right in the whole eye. Jeez, I'm telling you, sometimes I think I'm nuts. I'm gonna put the whole potato right down in there and just let it do its thing down there, same as the next one, and we'll see how it looks depending on what we do with it. It's another one. See all that growing off there? It's just everybody's got an opinion, and mine is 2 eyelets, and probably a lot of people don't agree with it, but it's worked well for me. So I'm gonna lay this actually on the side, because the eyelets are so established and it's still way down there. And only problem when you put them in a tight bed like this instead of in the ground is when I go to take them out, it's hard to dig down and get all them potatoes out. So you're trying to keep from damaging them when you're taking them out, and it's very, very tough to keep them down there. And like I said, this already has all its nutrients and soils and everything put into it, ready to go. So, and like I said, I can put these in whole only because, man, I'm telling you, sometimes the soil is so soft, but it's rich down the bottom where it's harder. So we've got them taters there. Right, I'm gonna get one more in here, and these are, like I said, the red potatoes, which I absolutely love. And normally when you buy these seed potatoes, they're not this big, but I'll be honest with you, they're killers this year. So I'm gonna pop this, hey babe. So I'm gonna pop this one in down here and lie it on the side a little bit. I did dig this all up a little bit and just cover it up, right? So, like I said, a lot of you will say, Jeff, how do you know what potatoes you got in there? There's times I forget, but honestly, most of the time, I know. And plus, it's a great surprise, because when these type of potatoes I'm planting them now, they're all going to come up at the same time anyway, so you're just excited when you actually see things grow and come together. You're like, wow, man, I grew potatoes. Even though I've done it a zillion times, it seems like. It just, you don't lose the excitement. Much as people might find it's not exciting, I'm just telling you, you don't when you've done it for a while. It's why you do it. And of course, the next ones we're going to put in is purples, which we've already got reds, whites, and purples from this past winter. I had left over that I made seed potatoes from my garage. So, like I said, we're going to see how they all go, see how it all works out. Plus, I'm going to need the rest of these potatoes come 2-3 weeks from now when I empty those barrels over there. And I got to get them in by mid-May, which is late, and take them out in November, but I got to get them out of those buckets over there once I get them going. But these are some big purple ones too, so it's kind of amazing how big these things are this year. So I'm going to go put 4 in. Plus, you got to remember, like I just told you, we're going to have an awful lot. So there's 2 on that one there, and there's the line. So we're going to, the first one was in a little bit on that one. So we're going to set that one right down on in there. And like I said, this stuff's like sawdust almost. It's rich, don't get me wrong. It's got a little moisture to it because it's so deep, but it's just like feathery, light. Believe me, after a bunch of rain and heat and everything hits it and everything goes on and watering, won't be that soft. Time I go take these potatoes out of here, it will be hard as a rock to a point, no matter what I do. Another cedar, I'm gonna pop one in there, curve them all up, and like I said, I normally wouldn't put them in this tight. I would normally give them like at least 8 inches or a foot apart from each other, but I'm kind of running out of time and room. 2 cedars, 2 olives, excuse me, 2 cedars. All right, so cover that one back up. So that will take care of all that. So now the potatoes are in. Then, like I said, I've already got the bone meal, blood meal, manure, everything in there. Now I have to straw this. But with the amount of space I got in this garden, which seems a lot to everybody, but once I get growing all my squashes and melons, ends up being not as much as you think. I had to decide what I was going to put in here with this, and I haven't made that total decision by looking at things. I think I might change my mind, only because that's what it's there for. So that's what I'm going to do. I was going to put what do you call it? Tomatoes on here, on top, but I think I'm gonna use the peppers. That way I can wire all 4 right in place. And what I want to use is some of this to cover the top of this up. Is I want to use some of this saved up soil and compost I had out of these barrels, because it's excellent for things to grow in, and it's made up all good things I already put in here, from mulch to bark to you name it, it's got it. And sorry if I'm going in and out, like I told you, this microphone thing is, when you have it, you don't realize how nice it is, that you don't worry about kind of where you're at when you're doing this. But when you don't have it, you're like, what a pain in the you know what. Trying to make sure you're close enough to the camera and talking to everybody, and you don't want to lift these 80-90 pots up to get over a fence. But sometimes you do it because it just gets old, it's real old. Shoveling over a fence. I normally have it more open, to be honest with you, to my garden, but between my dog and the neighbor's dogs, I had to close it up more this year. And plus for the animals going to be coming in, I had to close it up more because they got a habit of getting in here this winter, especially in this box, but anywhere, and digging tunnels and whatever, let them have fun, God bless them. And here for so long, just like us, right? And they're both great dogs. So this does nothing but, you can see this has mulch, soil, everything mixed into it. And it's already got the nutritions all below, so that just gives us another layer of dirt for them potatoes underneath. And yes, why things will fight for areas when they grow. Peppers and tomatoes will grow just about through everything. I mean, when I say everything though, you can put something next to it and normally something isn't going to dominate it too much and it'll be all right. So we gotta get our first one, which is red bell. And I've already got a lot of these overwintered, but I'm just, since this is a fresh bed with fresh soil, I'm just gonna put a couple fresh plants in here. It's got this good soil and just take advantage of it. Because we're overwintering as much as you, and I'm not gonna have to water this, really, because the soil is still wet from everything it's been in, but it was pretty cool when you're doing this. Is also when you, once they get growing and things start happening, yeah, and they start getting the peppers on them and stuff like, it's pretty cool. And you got different plants right next to each other, and they all got different bell peppers, and my wife and family, neighbors, they love peppers. Now I haven't gotten any hot ones yet. I gotta get some jalapenos and some, and I can't think of them orange ones I grew last year. What were they called? Now, if I was here, I'd realize, but I do still have some that I overwintered. So my neighbors next to me here, my kids and my wife love hot peppers and stuff, but those type of peppers, they're like a ghost pepper. Mine can't handle the ghost pepper type, but I'll be honest with you, they can handle a lot more than me, because I don't eat no peppers at all. I got a baby stomach for that stuff. Got ailments, the last thing you want to do, so I got my orange peppers here. My dog's following me around, wants to come in the garden, but I just can't right now. Dude, come here, what are you doing over there? Now this one's an orange bell. And what's nice about these peppers is as I get them going and they blossom and they start doing everything they're doing, what's nice about these peppers is they go straight up, and I can put my tomato cage, smaller tomato cages, and they'll grow up just like a little bush. And they'll just produce, and they don't go wild. Now, like I said, I haven't done peppers on top of potatoes yet, but I have done tomatoes on top of potatoes. So hard, I do the same things everybody in every video. I say potatoes for tomatoes, tomatoes for potatoes. So, it's just a little tougher, and probably somebody saying, oh look, he didn't give it blood meal and bone meal like he always said. He didn't do this and he didn't do that. Well, I remember what I said. The soil was already loaded with that stuff. And plus below, I've already got some of that in the soil, and there's so much, I don't want as much nitrogen in here on these potatoes as I do phosphorus or calcium type of stuff. So this soil is actually great for peppers. And if I do know some stunting are not really going away, I think they should, I can always add something to them. But at this present time, it's just, I don't need to do it. And they're gonna, for the next month and a half, they're gonna be doing nothing but staying this up, maybe get up about that tall, but all they're doing now, people don't realize when you put some trees or that anything you put in the ground, it's got to root first. So it spends its first 2 months just developing roots and growing in the ground. Once them roots are established and going, that's when the trees, bushes, anything you're growing goes up. All right, I still got to get some strawberries in, and I got to get some. Oh man, sometimes I wish I could think what I'm saying, but it's over there. I got a couple more things I gotta get in. I gotta get them in this area because I'm climbing over the fence now because I don't want to close it all up right now. But I'll get all that over here, and then we'll do a video on that, what I'm doing. But like I said, you got potatoes below and peppers on top here right now. We're going to see how this works this year instead of me using tomatoes or something else on top. And I still got a ton of stuff in the greenhouse, like I said, that was overwintered. The only other thing I'm going to do this like I normally do is first I'm going to try to get up here, boys and girls, because hit your 60s and you'll see it's just not the same. I don't know what 70s like, but 60s a little bit tough on me. But that's all the years of work, construction, and being in the field and getting beaten up. All right, so we're just strawing this, and this isn't really a need here with this. The peppers will, like I said, peppers will grow. Peppers will grow in just about anything. I mean, they're a very resilient vegetable and plant. Once they get going, they'll take over things. So it's good that way. But okay, the only reason I'm putting this on here, as you know, is first off, keeps the weeds down to a point, and at this time of year on cool nights, it keeps the heat in around the vegetables and the plants are planted. And thirdly, when it's hot out, it keeps the heat from burning up the soil. So it kind of works as a 3-in-1. Like I said, normally I water everything pretty heavy, but everything in there already had some moisture to it. And the plants have been watered down recently. So I'm pretty good with that. So we're going to leave it at that for now. And we'll check in with you later. Don't forget, go out to Jeff Vegetable Garden and Containers on YouTube. Jeff's Gardening Tips on Facebook, and Jeff's Gardening on, boy, I'm telling you, Instagram. Move my camera there, guys. All right. You can see, ends up being nice. Once them potatoes start coming up from the bottom, they'll start shooting, and they'll kind of look like, well, these are dying back. These are the ones that had in the greenhouse. That's why I said they're, you can see them, they're getting closer to dying out now. And once they're done, I'll empty, that's 1, 2, 3, 6 pots, 7 pots. I'll empty them 7 pots and use potatoes I still have left to put in there and put fresh pots in there, because I know I can never get enough potatoes. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get working on my, hopefully today get working on my strawberries, and then I gotta get these tomatoes in too, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. Just have too much going on. All right, guys, have a good one. See ya.